can go along with Obama's antics with the tax.
Got to hold it there, Lord Monckton. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Steve Shank. Alex and I have talked about food security for your family for years. Now we're into the holiday season, the happy time of year when friends and family come together, and food is always the expression of our shared love and caring. This year, the eFoods Holiday Special Food Supply has the two things that you've asked for most. Easy-to-make prepared meals that taste great, and a smaller than 1 year supply for greater affordability. I don't have to tell you that the troubled times and loss of freedoms that we only anticipated in 2008 have arrived in our lives with a vengeance. This holiday special is designed to bring peace and security to you and yours, and comes with a free 7-day responder for you to give to someone less fortunate. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com. That's 800-409-5633. We here at eFoods Direct wish you peace, security, and plenty this holiday season.
Are you tired of out-of-control, irresponsible federal deficit spending? Increasing the money supply without increasing productive output leads to inflation. You get less for your money. If you want to protect the buying power of dollars for your future, then call Peter May at Midas Resources, 800-686-2237, extension 135. You've worked hard for your dollars. Don't let the government strip their buying power with wasteful spending. Gold has a 5,000-year track record as money. Real money you can count on. No government-backed paper currency comes close. Ask me about the protection of private gold. Call Peter May at Midas Resources, 800-686-2237, extension 135. Central banks from around the world are stockpiling gold. They know gold is real money. Call Peter May at Midas Resources, 800-686-2237, extension 135 to discover the advantages of private protected gold.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Hounded by debt collectors with phone calls and letters? Thinking of calling a debt relief company? Don't. Greedy lawyers and debt companies charge thousands. Why pay when you can get their solution absolutely free with New York Times best-selling author Herb Kay's #1 debt secret, the how-to on stopping the calls without paying the debt companies. Yes, free for a very limited time. Here's Herb Kay.
Don't get ripped off by credit repair companies when I can give you the information you need to do it yourself for free.
Herb Kay was right. His free information helped me stop the calls and settle my debt.
What have you got to lose? Stop the calls now, get out of debt, and have more money. Get Herb Kay's #1 debt secret absolutely free now. Call 888-352-7726. That's 888-352-7726. 888-352-7726.
Monday through Friday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Eastern, we are here live. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Our guest website is scienceandpublicpolicy.org. We're also streaming the radio show via video at PrisonPlanet.tv, and we have the website up on screen, scienceandpublicpolicy.org. Lord Christopher Monckton is our guest. Okay, I've had a lot of my questions, and I want to get into the latest on ClimateGate, but I think the overwhelming point you've made here is we've had a giant victory, and we can feel the momentum shifting in our direction, but still the hundreds of billions globally invested in the fraud, in the global government, in the taxation scheme as the foundation of this illegal, unelected global government. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep pushing, though badly damaged. And so it's up to the people to contact their senators, their representatives, their state leaders, and say, no, no, no. Please continue, Lord Monckton. Then let's get into ClimateGate, the latest developments there.
Yeah. First of all, just to get the point of what you need to say now when you talk to your representatives, say that if there must be any kind of global government, it must be elected by the peoples of the world and not appointed by governments or by bureaucrats. It's got to be elected, and that will stop the nonsense faster than anything. So now, on to the latest on ClimateGate. I've now heard from the chairman of the independent inquiry into ClimateGate, because I wrote to him and said, look, I want to give evidence of this. He says that he's just about to appoint a team to look at who's going to give evidence and who isn't, and at that point they'll get back to me. So that is slowly happening. More interestingly, arising out of ClimateGate, there is now a general mood in the air that those who have been peddling this climate scare for so long and who have quite wrongly claimed the moral high ground are now losing it, not only because the science doesn't work out, not only because there's no economic case even if the science does work out, not only because even if we had to have something to do economically with this, we don't need a global government to do it. Not even because even if we do have a global government, it must be an elected global government, and at the moment they're planning not to. But the reason why they've lost the moral authority, above all else, is that it is becoming apparent that you are quite right, Alex, when you use words like criminal and fraud about what's going on. And, for instance, the chairman of the IPCC science panel, Dr. Rajendra Pachauri, when I was in Copenhagen, I went to hear him give a lecture. And it was a lecture on why it is that the climate is all terrible and we've got to do something about it. And I knew that he would use, and he duly did use, a bogus graph that appears 3 times, large and in full color, in the latest UN document published in 2007 about the climate. An entirely bogus graph, which was created using a false and well-known false and fraudulent statistical technique to try to pretend, quite falsely, that the rate of warming is itself increasing. And I confronted him as he arrived at that lecture and handed him a detailed letter from me explaining what was wrong with this graph, telling him not to use it, and asking him to get back to me within 48 hours to say that that graph would no longer be used, either by him or by the IPCC, and that this kind of fraud would in future be desisted from. I also raised a question at the end of his speech, having seen him use the graph, saying, look, you've used it again, and this is a bogus graph, and I'm going to give you 48 hours to get back to me. He didn't get back to me, of course, in 48 hours. And I am now reporting him to the police in India for scientific and financial fraud, because he has a large financial vested interest in numerous corporations and quangos and bodies.
And you were saying that a year ago
to money out of the climate scam.
Sir, to interrupt you, you were saying a year ago that he was involved. It's finally all over British and U.S. papers that they're shutting down famous steel plants in England to open them up in India when he's one of the big owners.
That's right, and he's making money out of that. We've lost 1,700 jobs in the north of England just in the last month as a result of the closure of a major steelworks at Redcar. That has now been transferred to India, where they're going to build exactly the same steelwork, and they're going to be making money twice. First of all, because they get money from us because we're no longer doing the carbon emissions, and secondly, because by using our steelworks and its technology, they will be emitting less carbon than they would have been by any other method of steel production. And we are paying at both ends for this.
Outrageous!
And our workers are losing their jobs.
British are paying to lose their jobs.
That's right. We are paying Pachauri personally to take 1,700 of our workers' jobs and transfer, not the workers, just jobs, to India, where he will make money again by various credits under the Clean Development Mechanism, which is
Lord
one of
Monckton.
the boondoggles run by the UN. It's unbelievable.
Got to break again. Long segment coming up. Let's go into some more fraud, like Al Gore saying the ice caps will all melt in 3 to 7 years. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The empire